Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So yesterday I had posted a picture on the community section of the line art of this drawing, and I had asked, like, can you guess what kind of bug this is? Or now I would reveal the answer in today's video. And we had a couple of really good guesses. So my friends and subscribers Dennis and JT, they both did some guesses. We got a mantis, a locust, a grasshopper with its wings up, and these are all wonderful guesses, and I'm so happy that y'all participated and tried your best. But as you can tell by the title of the video, it's a mayfly. So back when we were staying at that lake house in May, there were just swarms of mayflies everywhere. These are such weird little bugs, you know, like they're bright yellow, beautiful. They're just weirdly shaped. Like they've got these big, long vertical wings, skinny little long bodies, and these long antennas sticking out of their butts, right? They don't sting, they don't bite. They're just super duper chill. Like you can pick them up and they'll just rest on your finger, and you can just hold on to them for freaking ever, right? They're just chilling there. They're vibing with you. And so that, I mean, that's what we were playing with them. We were picking them up and walking around with them, and Lucy was just going on and on about how they were her pets and she wanted to bring them home. And I was like, baby, they don't live very long. Like these guys only live for like, I think 3 days or something. They got very short lifespans. They also do not make good fishing bait, because I had this bright idea that I was going to catch a bunch of these mayflies and use them to catch fish, right? Why waste our bait when we've got free bait flying around, you know what I mean? And lo and behold, the bodies of these guys, they're just too soft, and the fish were eating them right off of the hooks, you know? And I was like, well, so much for my big brain plan, you know what I mean? I said, well, guys, we'll just stick with the professional stuff, you know, the worms and the goldfish and the live bait. And the live bait was really working for us. Now the worms did good for catching the perch. We caught a ton of perch. But man, that live bait, I mean, I caught 2 bass. Well, the catfish I caught on a jig, if you can believe it. I caught a little channel cat on a jig with a bobber, and my husband, he was just like, there's no way, you're not going to catch anything with that. And then within a few minutes, I had a catfish on the line, and I'm reeling it in, and he was just jaw dropped, hit the floor like, there's no way you just did that. And then like later that day, he wasn't catching no fish, and he was using a jig with a bobber, and I was like, whoa ho ho. I was like, so much for it not working. What are you doing over there, copycat? And he was like, well, I figured if you could do the impossible, then so could I. And he didn't catch anything, but he caught some really, really big catfish later that night with some like hunks of perch. Like he had a really good night of catfishing, him and his boss Sean. But yeah, in any case, I was going through the photos and putting them up on the computer last night, and as I was flipping through them, I came across all these pictures I took of these mayflies. And my phone's got this really nice micro camera feature where like you can zoom in real close on stuff, and it just looks really nice and you can see all the details. And so yeah, I had a nice close-up of a mayfly, and I used it as my reference. And so once I got him kind of doodled how I wanted him, yeah, I didn't get his butt in there with his big old stinger. It's just kind of tucked in there in those flowers. And I thought it was nice to just, you know, I've got some tall blue bonnet looking things, some you know, just how I do with the flowers, just random stuff. Some of them look like succulents, maybe. There's a daisy in there. My crimson clover is in there. I love that thing. And once I got everything lined out and I started coloring it, I got to thinking like, well, how am I going to do this background, you know? So I went and selected a few of the flowers that I'd already drawn and colored. And I didn't grab the line art. I just grabbed the colors, and I stuck them in the back and sized them and moved them how I wanted them. And then I did like a Gaussian blur. So it just had that nice depth of field added to it, gave it like a it looks really nice back there. And then the crimson clover was one of the last flowers that I colored, and I added a couple of those back in the background too, just kind of blurred out, and it makes it feel just more lush and more full, you know. And I like that Gaussian blur feature on these software programs. They're really nice feature. They're really great for doing backgrounds and things like that. And then I did like a nice soft blue gradient. So much blue and green in the photo really adds a nice contrast to that stark yellow of this bug, and it really draws your eye to the center of the picture, and he is the focal point, you know. And yeah, there's little pops of red, you know, there's a bit of white in the corner just to help break up some of that blue and green, but not to be so overwhelming. Like, the colors are just very primary colors in this piece, and for the most part, you know, and then of course the green's like a secondary, but I didn't want to overcomplicate it, and I was just trying to chill out and vibe and not do anything too terribly crazy. I do like how the piece turned out. I'm really proud of how it turned out, and the drawing process probably took about 30-40 minutes ish. That includes like the sketching and the line art together, and then the coloring process that took about 3 hours. About an hour and a half for the bug, about an hour and a half for the flowers in the background. That bug though, and you would think, well, why did it take so long? I mean, but there were so many layers of yellows and browns that went into that thing, and then making sure I beefed up those shadows right in those creases so that, you know, it gives them a little bit of depth there. And I was playing around with the highlights, and do I want the highlights to be subtle? Do I want them to look extra shiny? So, you know, those thoughts were going through my brain, and I tried to go for more of a subtle effect. I wanted to keep everything nice and soft. And, you know, when you're coloring, you're making these choices. Like, do I want to do cell shading today? Or do I want to do soft shading today? Like, you make those choices. It's part of the art process, you know. What am I vibing with? And you even have to ask yourself, do I want to line it? You know, that was the first thing I did, was I lined it. But sometimes I don't line my work, and it's about your mood. It's just all about your mood in the moment, you know. Some people pre-plan their stuff, and I just kind of go off of what I'm feeling at the time. And then when I make big mistakes, I have to just correct them in the moment as well. So yeah, when it comes to drawing and painting, like, I don't do too much pre-planning for any of that mess. I don't look at it and think, how am I going to go into this? You know, I just kind of grab my pen and start going, you know, start doodling and then see what happens. Of course, this time, you know, I had my inspiration and I had my reference picture, but everything that came after that bug was just, you know, I'm feeling flowers today. Again, we're going to do more flowers today. So yeah, in any case, I guess it's really it though. Like, that's the video. I'm really excited for tomorrow. Me and my friends and my kiddos, we're gonna go to the river, and we're gonna go float in some inner tubes, and I'm really excited about that. We're gonna have a little picnic, and Kayla's gonna make some sliders. I'm bringing water and chips, and oh, she's also making cupcakes, and it's my friend Jen. It's her late birthday party, so that's what we're doing for her birthday. I'm really excited to see her and for all of us to hang out together and just relax, you know. And it's just like a girls trip. Like, there ain't gonna be no dudes. Our guys aren't coming with us. Hopefully we'll survive the river. It's a pretty chill stretch of river. We floated down it before. Like, this doesn't have like any rapids. There's not like, I mean, there's like one part with some fast water, but it's nothing crazy, you know. And of course I got my girls' life jackets just in case, because they might need them, you know. And they have these cool inner tubes for kids that the bottoms are totally covered, you know, so they can sit in it like a little chair and they won't, you know, fall through or nothing. So that's pretty cool, and that makes me feel more at ease knowing that I don't have to keep my hand on my kid's arm while she's chilling in her inner tube, like she could suck right through the center of that donut at any second, you know. I'm glad I don't have to be so hyper aware. Just aware enough that I'm looking over, okay, you're chilling, you're sitting, don't wiggle too much, sit down, we're good. You know. There's even a cool little part of the river where like you can park it, and it's like a really shallow, like ankle deep big section of flat rocks where you can just walk around and sit and splash, and then, you know, scoot your tube off to the other side and then get back on and go along your merry way. So we might have a moment where we sit and chill while the kids play around and splash around and run. But yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much everyone who stopped by to watch the video. Thank you to, again, Dennis and JT for participating in the fun little guessing game. And I hope y'all guys have a wonderful weekend too, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.